Wow, look. You get look at all these people. You're all beautiful. Yeah. Hey, you. Don't look at me like that. And we're running to the bathroom, everyone. It's your boy Zero.
And I am Mash, and yeah, welcome everyone to episode 15.
No,
of
dude,
Digimon.
they're occupied. No.
Lovely.
Never mind.
There's also a shower. That's nice. We saw real quick. We were talking about Magfest for 2 episodes, but we saw a rest stop where you could also shower. I had never seen one of those before on the way there.
Yeah, those are for the truck drivers because truck drivers have it rough, real
or
rough.
Just anyone in general that been traveling for long and needs to shower.
Oh yeah, that's right. We can buy Digimon on the black market. It's not as bad as it sounds. Actually, no, it's completely as bad as it sounds.
We talked about this a couple episodes back. I remember.
We did.
That was very dark.
Quite. It's episode 15, by the way, of our Digimon Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory Let's Play.
That's right.
I want to go to Eden real quick to see if I can find something. But yeah, Mash, why don't you, you know, start us off with something? What are we talking about? What are we doing this time around?
Not much. I mean, you know, last time we had talked a lot about Magfest, and the time before that we had also talked a lot about Magfest because that was something that we did recently. But we didn't really talk a whole lot about what's going on with this game. I think we're just doing some side quests right now, aren't we?
Pretty much. So we do odd jobs at Huddy. So the whole idea is that we take missions, or I guess cases, because in the original game you were working at a detective agency and you took, you know, cases. And yeah, that's basically what we did the last 2 episodes to gain experience, gain cash, and also, you know, lead into the story. We only have 2 missions left, and I believe the red one is the story. Yeah. So let's go ahead and finish off this lovely melody. I hear beautiful singing in Eden, but I don't know who's singing. Help me find out. Ain't it impossible to find someone in Eden? All right, so let's do that, Mash. You ready to go find this amazing singer?
I mean, not necessarily, but let's do it.
Music school girl, are you the handyman? Hello, I'm so glad you took my case. There's nothing I like better than taking a nice stroll in Eden, but something happened last time. While I was walking, I heard a woman singing in the distance. It was so clear. I never heard such a beautiful voice before. I looked around but couldn't find who it was. I thought it would be too dangerous to go any further, so I just turned back. The singing was coming from Junk Plaza on Kowloon level 1. I know Kowloon's dangerous, but I have to know who it is. I'm too scared to go by myself. That's why I want you to help me investigate and be my bodyguard. Oh, great. Well, if it isn't Resident Evil 4 all over again.
Yeah. By the way, you're killing it on the voice. Just wanted to let you know, Mr. Extraordinaire voice actor. Did we ever tell this story on stream when we went to CPAC, Castle Point Anime Convention in Secaucus, and we went to a panel, a voice acting panel? Did we talk about that on the channel yet?
I'm pretty sure we did, but I don't mind talking about it again.
Okay, yeah.
You can start the story if you like, because I wasn't very happy about what I had to do.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of feel like whenever we're at a place, I'm usually the one that starts telling the story. But so, Castle Point Anime Convention is a anime convention that was started by a group of college students from like a college anime club. It was really nice. I'd never been there before. I heard of it, but I'd never been there before, and we got to experience that for the first time last April. It's actually going to be coming up in a couple of months shortly. So get those tickets. But yeah, at an anime convention, you'll often find voice actor guests. So since Zero is big into voice acting, wanted us to go check out the voice acting panel It was presented by a voice actor who was giving us kind of tips and tricks, personal advice from their own experience of being in the industry for so long, and what it's like to get into the industry, pitfalls, all that kind of stuff. And what would a panel be without any kind of audience interaction? Now, this was my favorite part.
Of course.
They started to play some games with the, we were basically playing games, and random audience members, many of whom, surely want to also be voice actors, had an opportunity to kind of do some voice acting training or exercises, essentially, mostly for fun, but I'm sure there's some value out of it as well for practice. And yeah, so Zero raised his hand, participated, and I was kind of, it was already like a year ago, so I don't remember what you said to me specifically before you went up, but I knew there was something that you were hoping that you wouldn't get. Well, okay. You got something worse than that.
All right, so here's where I come in. So I can't remember this guy's name. I remember we ran into him again because he was at DerpyCon.
Yeah.
So this guy basically did this whole shtick where he asks people in the audience to come up and, read parts of a script as if, they were that character, but there was a twist to it, right? And sometimes he would add one twist or like two twists to it. So he had scripts from Pokemon, or like made up scripts from Pokemon. The animated series, the old one. So you have your characters Ash, Brock, Misty, Team Rocket, Meowth and shit. And the idea was, okay, each person gets one character, and the audience is going to choose the twist. How it's going to be that character, but is it going to be a different voice? Did they smoke? Do they have a raspy voice? Are they sick? Are they trying to run away from something? Did they just get hit by something? Yada, 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 stuff like that. Now, as a voice actor, I prefer, good interpretations of the character that's being presented. So I'm not the biggest fan of guys trying to do a female voice because it always sounds like, oh, hey, how are you doing, big boy? Like something like that. Like, it's not a female voice, and it just sounds so corny to me, right? So of course I raise my hand, I get chosen, and I'm begging, don't make me do a female voice because I can't do a female voice, and I don't like this, and I don't like the way I sound when I try to do one. It's pretty bad. So of course I get stuck with Misty. However, we still need but the audience still needs to choose what my twist is going to be. So my twist is that I'm Misty, but I have the voice of Donald Duck.
Donald Duck, yeah. And it's so funny because, let me explain this to you guys. Multiple times prior to that panel, he has done Donald Duck voice very well. He's gonna deny it, but he's done it very well.
I really can't.
It just blows my mind that of all the things for some random person in the audience to say for him to do, it's Donald Duck. And again, he's sitting here and he's denying. He's gonna be all humble and say, "Oh, I don't do it very well." But like, people were legit impressed in the audience that you were doing it, and they were dying. It was really funny. So out of all the things it could have been, you just happened to go up and get Donald Duck. That was kind of amazing how that worked out.
He keeps saying that I'm being humble about it, but I'm not being humble about it because it's really bad. Hell, I'll even do it right now because here's the thing: you guys have to imagine that to do the Donald Duck voice, it's not even a raspy voice. It's basically pushing air into one side of your cheek, really like puffing it full of air, holding it there on one side of the cheek, and then letting it out while you're moving your lips. That's how you get the Donald Duck sound. I wasn't even doing that. I was literally just going, that sound with the back part of my mouth. It's not technically the Donald Duck voice, but it gets you close to it. And I don't think it sounds good. But of course, everybody was laughing their ass off because it's like Donald Duck very angry. I think that was a twist, but you're Misty at the same time. So I have to read whatever it is that Misty's saying, like I'm doing that voice. And I'm just like, man, I sound so horrible. I don't sound like Donald Duck at all. Like, you can barely understand what I'm saying. Everybody's enjoying it and laughing, and I'm just like, no, don't encourage my bad performance.
See, this is why you should never be an enthusiast of anything, because I'm sure even just that, like you not even trying, sounded really good to people watching. And again, it sounded good to everyone that was in the room there. So once you become an enthusiast of something, like Zero here has become an enthusiast of being a voice actor, you start to become insanely, obnoxiously detail-oriented to the point where, oh no, this is terrible. It's like, I don't know, that kind of just sounds like Donald Duck to me. And a lot of other people apparently, but yeah, I thought that was really funny. And yeah, maybe we've told that story before, but hey, you know, Zero here is on his way to become a voice actor, so we definitely, I think you should challenge yourself to do more stuff like that, because you might come up with some interesting practice for, I don't know, God knows what, you know, like other kind of weird, bizarre, quirky combinations that someone's gonna throw at you from the audience, you know?
I mean, if I go into doing something like that again, which wouldn't necessarily be bad if I were doing like a live stream or whatever, if I ever start doing that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
What I really need to do to practice voice acting is definitely read out loud more, because that's basically what it is. Yeah. And if you can't do that, you know, well, I mean, who the fuck is gonna hire you? I'm also constantly following one of my favorite voice actors, Joshua Seth. He was my teacher, as a matter of fact. He stopped giving lessons, which is why, you know, he used to be my teacher. And a lot of the stuff that I learned, or at least know, was me copying him and my other favorite voice actors, and also through taking his class. So I keep following him. He's actually gonna not star, but he's gonna be in a new anime now that's actually being worked on at the moment. It's gonna be coming out on Crunchyroll soon, so I'm gonna be checking out his work again. And talking about voice acting, I can actually do a pretty good Rick voice. It also, you know, it's really scratching on my throat. And I don't know if you've heard MASH. I don't even know if I should mention this, but Justin Roiland,
I was gonna say it's probably not.
Basically, one of the creators of Rick and Morty has been let go because of some stuff. We'll leave it at that. But it was the same guy who did the voice for Rick and Morty. So now Adult Swim needs to find replacements for those voices. And our buddy Oni messaged me today saying, "Hey, just so you know, they're gonna need new voice actors for Rick. You know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Get in there." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love to, but how the hell do I get in contact with someone to allow me to even, you know, audition for that?" Like, how
yeah, I mean that was gonna be so highly competitive.
Absolutely.
To get to that point, that, I mean, again, no offense to your voice acting, but there's probably just so many people that are like already have the resume, already did like several characters that are exactly like it. It's just like finding a job. Like, it's not necessarily that you're not a good fit. It's just that there's like 1,000 other people that are way better of a fit than you. Yeah. And you're so far down on the line. It's just tough. It's really, really difficult.
But
also, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk anything about it, because I don't like to talk about drama and stuff like that on the channel. But definitely, that has to be said first of all. Yeah. But I heard.
Yeah. Quite disappointing, especially because he was one of the people who helped create a series that I really like. So to hell with him.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy, seriously. Yeah, let's Digivolve a few Digimon. I will do a little bit of research online to see if there's a way I can maybe get in there. But there is a voice actor that I follow online, another one. I'm forgetting his name, obviously, because I keep forgetting people's names. I actually just shared a meme on my Facebook, actually, of a printer printing out a sheet of paper and then the paper falling directly into a paper shredder. And it's in the context of when someone tells me their name. It goes when it literally gets printed out and then right into the shredder because I don't remember it.
You know, sadly, my brain works that way sometimes too. It's
It
not
sucks.
it's not out of any kind of bad intentions. It's just bad memory.
Yeah, it's pretty. It sucks. But this voice actor, he's really good at doing impressions, and he has done several impressions of the Rick and Morty cast. So he's done Mr. Meeseeks, and it's very, very close. He's done Morty. It's practically identical. He's done Rick, almost practically identical. And I'm just like, if anyone's gonna get him, it's this voice actor because he can do all three and they don't have to, you know, hire 3 separate people anymore. So it's like Mash was saying, it's not that I'm not good at all, it's just there's so many other people that have the same skill set or can do it even better. So I'm not even mad. It's just a little frustrating because I would love to voice Rick. Are you kidding me? That'd be amazing. I wouldn't say it's a dream come true, but it would be, I'd probably pass out the second I'm told, yeah, you got it. I'd probably pass the fuck out, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it's it just like with anything, like with getting a job, it does become like that paper shredder moment where, you know, you have these high ambitions, but unfortunately, there's so many more hoops that you would have needed to, you know, to jump through before that moment that your resume, your application, you know, you're not really being considered the same because you just don't match up. You know, there's just nothing. It's just law of averages. Like at some point, there's gonna be so many applicants that you're gonna be like way at the bottom. It's like if anyone has ever entered a social media contest, you know, one where, I mean, I guess there's different kinds, so it just depends. But like if you've entered a social media contest where someone happens to have more followers than you, like a lot more followers than you,
yeah,
that kind of runs against you. You know, whoever is running that social media campaign might look at those numbers and think, well, why would we kind of like give the contest you know, prize to this person that has less followers when we could give it to someone who has big followers, like a bigger follower account, and they'll give our product like more exposure. Because like a 50 follower account is only going to reach so many people compared to someone that has like 50,000 followers or whatever. And it's weird. Everything is so hyper competitive now. It's like just gross. You just see competition and rat race, you know, characteristics in like every aspect of our lives today, and it's kind of disgusting. And
it's definitely frustrating and it's demoralizing at times.
Very demoralizing. It's hard to stay optimistic when, you know, you apply to. I remember when I was starting to really get back into looking for a new job, what I had learned is don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. Listen, if you apply to 100, you get 100 no's, you're gonna get 1 yes. And I'm just like, well, okay, but that doesn't take into consideration the amount of time and effort and energy and like mental exhaustion you have to go through to get through those 99 no's till you get to that yes. By the time you've gotten to that 1 yes out of 99 no's, you've already gotten no's from so many dream jobs and dream positions, dream companies to work for, companies that actually offer you what you need and would have been able to properly take care of you as like an employee. You know, you're like, you're just like a husk by the time you get to that yes. And whatever that yes is, you're just like, well, I guess I have no choice. No one else is hiring, and you're just stuck with it. So it's incredibly demoralizing. And at least with jobs, I guess it kind of makes sense because they're looking for the person that's best qualified or whatever, or has the best connections, as it usually goes. But like, I guess there it kind of makes sense because you're asking a business to employ you. I just wish that people weren't so much like this in their daily lives and just cared so much about social media and cared so much about having more followers and more likes. Because I've seen so many people that I maybe even looked up to, or people that I cared about, just turn into these mindless drones of like, what if this post gets this many likes? Like, so what? You're still the same person. You just have a very popular post now. That doesn't change who you are. It doesn't make you a better person. It just brought you one rung up higher on the rat race ladder that we're all, inconvenienced by on a regular basis. So I hate that aspect of it. I don't know where I was going with that. Are we playing a game here? Is that what we're doing?
We are playing a video game here. Give me a quick second because I'm going to try something.
Yeah.
We're digivolving Digimon right now. I'm going to go ahead and use up... So we're doing something called loading. Loading a Digimon into another Digimon basically takes their data and makes it into experience points so that you can level up your Digimon without having to fight. And you also get to blast through all these things that you scanned and are not likely going to use, like, at all. So let's see if this is the last piece to this puzzle that I need. So we're going to load a Digimon into Lekismon, that bunny Digimon you chose a while ago. We can load up to 5. So let's go ahead and choose Goblimon. I just created him. We're going to use Lalamon. Just created her. Solarmon as well. And then... Oof. Still need a bit more, but whatever. We'll do this.
Why not use the other one? It has higher XP.
Because I wanted to actually grow this Biomon.
I see.
So now our Lekismon only needs a little bit more experience for her to go up to level 31 and hopefully have enough to Digivolve into her next level, which it's not showing us right now. We need intelligence to 80, and she's at 79 right now.
So you'd probably be able to say, like, you could say that at this point, this is the real grind. This is what you're investing like 50, 80, like 100 hours into, is to try to maximize, like, get the best digivolving out of your Digimon, right?
Absolutely.
Is that what it's all about?
As a matter of fact, Starmon, we could either Digivolve him into Super Starmon. We have 2 mystery Digimon here that I'm not aware of right now. Mamemon, which is just this cute little ball Digimon. Or my favorite version of Mamemon, Metal Mamemon. Look at this guy.
That is pretty cool. That actually reminds me of the one that we commented last time. It's like a similar design, but it's like a naked dude, like sunglasses.
Oh, Nannymon, yeah.
Nannymon, yeah.
Quite uncomfortable. But first, let's Digivolve Otamamon, because he's been ready to Digivolve for a while. Now, we can turn him into any one of these guys. We have Shell Numamon, Geckomon, Seadramon, Numamon, Normal, Raremon, and yeah. He has one mystery one, which we can go into, but I'm pretty sure that's just Coelamon. So, would you like to choose his next level? Would you rather a Sea Dragon, a Gecko, a Coelacanth, Green Poop, or freaking Sewer Sludge?
I think I'm gonna go with the Gecko.
You want Geckomon?
Yeah.
This is how he looks like, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty silly. It's making me think of that. You ever had that one cereal brand where it's kind of like a frog?
Yes. Aren't they called Smacks?
I don't remember. I'm really nostalgic for that cereal because I've seen it so many times when I was a kid, but I've never actually eaten it. Isn't that weird, like, to be nostalgic for some cereal you never had?
I've had it several times. It's a rice type of cereal. It's puffed rice and it's been sweetened. It's all right. It's all right. It's not horrible.
Yeah.
All right, so we have AmIEvil here, little back guy. He's supposed to go into Devimon, but we have branching evolution lines in this game, so we can either go into a ghost. Devimon, here we have him. The girls love him. He's tall, dark, and handsome. Cubimon, not necessary because we already have her. Kurisarimon. And we have a mystery Digimon here, but I'm pretty sure I already know who that is. That would be IceDevimon, the ice variant of Devimon. So, Would you like IceDevimon, normal Devimon? Would you rather a ghost, Kurisarimon?
I would want to go for regular Devimon, but I'm curious to see this mystery version. So let's do that one instead.
So he appeared several times in the animated show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hilarious because they decided to give him a Christopher Walken voice. I'm not even kidding.
You even do that? Are you get in trouble for that?
No. Using a person's accent doesn't do anything. Wow, guys,
Wow.
it's me, IceDevimon. Yeah. Wow, look. Look at all these people. You're all beautiful. Yeah. Hey, you, don't look at me like that. Do that shit again. Let's stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
So it's kind of like a right. So that would be like a color swap essentially of regular Devimon.
Yeah, so Digimon actually makes use of that a lot. I'm pretty sure, yeah, we talked about it before in episodes prior. Like there's a Gabumon, but with a different, with more of a purplish color to him, and that's a completely different Digimon. Then there's the black variants of Agumon and Gabumon and stuff. Then you have Snow Agumon, which is a white variant of Agumon. So yeah, they exist everywhere, all around. And I actually think it's cool because some people like the different colored variants. Our buddy Ed, who's helped us in several videos at Comic-Con and Anime NYC, one of his favorite variants is Black Agumon because it's a black Agumon and he thinks it looks cool.
I like yeah, I like that color swap. Color swap is just so familiar because we've played so many fighting games up to this point. But I like that the color swap in this game actually they have like different stats and stuff like that.
Different elements, different stats. Everything's different. And I agree with you. I think it's one of the best uses of characters because now you don't have to go through the whole design phase of creating a new character. You can just take a beloved one and say, hey, what can we do? I mean, hell, Gilmon, his next form, Growlmon, has an orange variant, and I think the orange variant looks amazing. Then you have Greymon, he has a blue one, but then you have Geo Greymon, similar, but, more spiky and stuff. So it's cool that they do that sort of stuff. Hell, Miramon had a very lazy one called Blue Miramon, just him, but blue. But it's cool. It's cool that you can have several versions of something.
Yeah.
By the way, my favorite evolution of this episode, by the way, has to be Raptordramon. This was an accident, and I'm so happy I made that accident. I made that mistake. This is amazing. Look at this boy. Look at this big,
it looks kind of crazy.
Armored boy. Freaking amazing.
It was nice to actually talk about Digimon. I hope we could get back to the story at some point to make some progress because I feel like we're in this office a lot. I feel like we've not really just barely scratched the tip of the iceberg, I guess you could say, for what the story is with this, because this is a long RPG. I'm sure that will be done with the Yeast playthrough. We actually, just a full disclosure, we've already finished the Kirby playthrough. It's just not all out yet. And we'll probably be done with our next game playthrough as well by the time that this one is done. So hopefully we can make some story progress too. Plus, I generally do like the story so far. It doesn't stand out for me too much, but I like it. I like seeing some more of the outside world as well, as opposed to just the cyber world. And I like seeing the cool Digimon's cool. I like seeing the cool Digimon. Yeah. I'm
glad you agree. I also do want to, of course, continue the story. However, I have a bad habit of not paying attention to the story while talking. So that's why I figured, oh, cool, we can go to the hospital. That's likely what we need to do. But let me go ahead here. Go there. And, yeah, let me buy another medal because I like collecting these medals. What was I saying?
This is the Achilles heel of being a JRPG fan is like they're great games, but they just take so much time. I mean, I got into Persona. My friend got me into Persona 4 after I had tried Persona 3 in college, and it wasn't for me. But I got into Persona 4. I loved it. I tried to play a little bit more Persona 3. I got a little bit further, but I still had to drop it again. And then I got into Persona 5, and I was so invested in that game, and it definitely like, I don't know, resonated with me strongly. Of course, I got involved with the local Persona community and stuff like that, so that was fun. But the amount of time that I put into that game was probably about maybe like 80, 85 hours, so something. A lot for a regular game, probably about what you expect for a JRPG. And then, you know, like not even a year later, or about a year and a half later, they released Persona 5 Royal, which gives you even more content. You know, it's the same game, but they've added extra confidants. There's a new playable character, and of course that means that the story was expanded as well. So I'm just like, I can't even imagine taking this already super bloated, good, but super bloated time-wise RPG, and then filling it out even more. It's just nuts. You're never really gonna enjoy that game properly unless it's the only thing you play. And I hate that. I would rather like be able to just bounce back and forth between a couple different games.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's one of the reasons why I was oh wow, they have maid mode for Sakuyamon. It's one of the reasons why I haven't picked it up, because I know the game is good and I desperately want to try it. But holy crap, I have so many things to do in my spare time. Of course, keeping up with the YouTube channel, which, by the way, I hope you guys have been enjoying those shorts that I've been posting up. Of some of our funniest moments. Please go check those out. And then, of course, we have full-time jobs. We have our own lives outside of this YouTube channel. You know, we have friends and family we'd like to visit and hang out with. So to put in so much extra time into a game that, yeah, I desperately do want to play, it's like I can't. I need to give myself time to like go outside, breathe some air, see some people, freaking eat food, travel a bit. It gets daunting. It gets quite daunting. So I feel bad for you because you played through Persona 5 and you loved it, right?
Yeah.
And then, and then to see that they're like, oh yeah, here's another version of it with extra stuff. You're like, I just spent a lifetime playing the first one. Now you're telling me I get to buy it again. Not necessarily the problem, but there's even more to it now. Like, damn.
Yeah, I don't see the purpose. I really don't see the purpose of me replaying that game, because I'd be sitting through, realistically, probably about 80% of content that I already know, that I've already experienced, that I wouldn't mind replaying even without Royal existing. It's just I don't have the time to replay a game. Like, JRPGs are so hard to replay because they take so much time. But then the other 20% is actually what I would be playing it for, which is the new stuff. So I can't do it. I guess I'm not as diehard of a Persona fan as I thought. But yeah, maybe if I waited, I could have gotten Persona 5 Royal and just played that from beginning to end. But honestly, I was so hyped when 5 came out. I finished 4 maybe like 6 months prior, or like 4 months prior or something like that. And I was yeah, I was just looking forward to playing the new one, and it was worth it. You know, it was absolutely worth it. Additional content aside, I have no regrets of not waiting for Royal, because of course no one knew that they were going to do that. No one had any idea.
No, not at all. And that's kind of one of the things that frustrates me for you. Like, I'm frustrated for you because it doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem fair that, you know, oh, by the way, here's Psychemon, by the way. I got his medal, which is why I also wanted to go to the medal guy, so you can, you know, so we can show this off in game.
555.
Oh yeah, 555. That's funny. What was I saying? I'm frustrated for you because they weren't going to tell you from the get-go that they were going to release an updated, you know, end-all version of that game. They were going to tell you from the get-go. They were going to let you buy the first one. They were going to let you fall in love with it, to then be like, hey, we added more, come play it. You know, buy it again and play more of it. Obviously, hell, I'm a fan of several games. I likely would have done it. But yeah, I feel bad for you. Again, another $60 down the drain to then spend another lifetime and a half now to play all the extra stuff. It didn't seem right to me.
Right. There was also a lot of friends that I had they didn't finish Persona 5, the original, because again, it was just such a time sink for them. By the time Royal came out, they still weren't done. And then that puts you in the kind of situation, it's like, well, crap, I mean, I guess now I should just start over. I've had this much time to finish the original. I might as well just buy Royal and then start that from scratch and just play that. So it was weird. I would rather have them just put that effort into working on a sequel. Obviously, a Persona 5 sequel is or it's not really a sequel, but a new Persona game is way off. It wasn't going to be developed in the time that Royal was developed in. But yeah, I would have rather them put that effort into something new as opposed to just giving us 5 again with extra content.
And that's not to say I'm against it, but at least make it DLC so you don't have to buy the whole thing again, you know?
Right.
And
anyway, speaking of extra content...
Wait,
speaking of content...
Yes, speaking of content, this content's over because we're a little over. But we hope you guys enjoyed this video. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure to slap that like button, mash the subscribe button, and let us know down in the comments below. Do you like playing Digimon? Are you a fan of it? Are you peeved when, you know, developers release a brand new game again a couple months later, but with extra content, so now you have to put in all that extra time for it again? Does that peeve you? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below. We're always curious to hear from you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on episode 16.
Yeah, take care, everyone.
Bye.